What's going on, everybody? Lincoln264 here, and as you can tell, we're talking about Arms today. Arms. Whoever thought that there would be a major Nintendo game coming out with the name Arms in it? And it is fitting, of course, since the main premise of the game is built around the arms, or rather extendable arms, that each of the boxers in this game can have. And a lot of people were very skeptical about it whenever Nintendo first announced it back in January, myself included. But after playing it for a week, I think a bit of my skepticism has been allayed. So let's just talk about this game for a little while. So I think the main question that I want to ponder in this video is, can Arms be the fighter version of Splatoon? Splatoon, made by Nintendo as well, took the whole third-person shooter concept and flipped it upside down and Nintendoized it, if you will. And it ended up being a big success. And Arms, even Arms, with its similar art style, has been compared to Splatoon many times. And again, that's the question I want to answer in this video. Does Arms do to fighters what Splatoon did to third-person shooters? To start off, I want to say the main fighting system itself is very, very in-depth. There's a lot of depth to it that you can really explore and find the tactics to and stuff. Now, it's not as, let's say, like engaging as a game, say, like Smash Brothers or Street Fighter, that relies heavily on combos. In this game, there aren't really that many combos or fast-paced action or stringing together lots of things. In Arms, yeah, you can string together one or two hits, but ultimately I think it ends up being more like a chess game than a fast-paced action game. You really are pacing out, timing when to throw your punches out, and there's a good 1 or 2 seconds in between. More than that. There's a lot of about 3 or 4 or 5, anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds of just waiting, pacing it out, trying to find the opportunity to throw your punch at your opponent, or block, or grab, whatever the case may be. And there's no combo games involved. And I think that that's okay. I think that it's a different kind of fighter, and that it really makes for an entertaining sort of match. That being said, I also think that the items in this game are a bit more plausible than in games like Smash Brothers. So, in Smash Brothers, of course, in a tournament sort of setting, items are definitely not legal. You can, they completely throw off the balance of the match. They're unpredictable. It doesn't make any sense. I think in Arms, though, let's just say that also in Arms there are only 4 items. There are 2 bombs, one that does electric damage and one that does just regular damage. And then there are 2 healing items, one that heals you and one that charges up your superpower, your super attack. I don't remember the name of it at the moment. And put simply, I think the 4 of these items in conjunction, I think that actually does add a bit of more of a surprise element to the game, and a bit more of, actually a little more of a tactical element, because if you can use the bomb in just the right way, you can get your opponent, but you can also avoid it if you're good at it too. I think that the items actually, in addition, I think they throw a bit of a break in the action. Like, if you've played ranked matches online, I'll get more into that in a second, there are no items, and I think after a while it gets not dry, but just kind of intense in that there's no break. You're just going back and forth, trying to find the openings, and it gets intense. And I think the items really loosen it a bit, and in a good way, not in like a flimsy, casual way. So I would have to say, I think that the core system itself is pretty solid. Now, that's not the only part of the game that I want to That's not the only part of the game that I want to analyze, however. So, let's go through them one by one. Grand Prix mode. The Grand Prix mode in this game is where you go through 10 different battles, sometimes 11, depending on the difficulty level. And if you get to the end, a little crown is put over your character the next time you try to select them in a battle. So that's kind of where the completionist sort of aspect comes into play. Here's the thing, again, like I said, Grand Prix are 10 battles long. Now, I'm glad that they added it, made it so that you can just, if you want to, you can put the game down and come back to it later. If you were five matches in, you'll still be 5 matches in whenever you come back to it the next time. You can save your progress in Grand Prix. That eases it a bit, but I still think that 10 is a bit much. It's a bit much to commit to, and I wish it had been something a bit more like, I don't know, 5 or so. That would have made a bit more sense to me. So, not to say that the Grand Prix isn't fun. It definitely is. It serves as a good adventure mode, if you will, since it is really the only adventure mode that you're going to get. And, well, in that sense, if you're looking for a deeper adventure mode, then I guess it doesn't serve well. So there is no single-player campaign. We'll just say that. But Grand Prix, it is fun, although a bit long. So, yeah. And of course, you have your regular versus mode. So I want to take this opportunity to talk about the multiplayer. I think that playing multiplayer is a blast, at least in 2-player mode, and with somebody who knows what they're doing. Once you get that action sort of going, I think it can be it can bring about some very intense moments and be a lot of fun. Now, keeping that in mind, I don't think it works very well whenever you're bringing the Switch out somewhere and you're introducing someone to Arms. It's kind of a technical game, and I don't think it works as a pick-up-and-play sort of multiplayer game for someone who's never ever played it before. But if you have maybe like a brother or a spouse or someone you hang out with a lot who knows what they're doing, I think it works for an awesome multiplayer experience. And not just for the main fighting mode either. The other 3 modes, Hoops, V-Ball, and Skill Shot, they're pretty cool too. Some more than others. Hoops is amazing. V-Ball is pretty awesome. Skill Shot is okay. But I think they all serve for a pretty good time. So, oh yeah, and then finally Team Battle. I think it works. I still think it's a bit chaotic though at times. So there's that. I haven't quite tried doing 4-player yet, so I need to do that at some point. I've just done 2-player versus 2-computer, but it's still to me it seems a bit chaotic. Although you can really work together as a team, and it be a very teamwork heavy mode if you're interested in that sort of thing. So Versus is a lot of fun. Now, I didn't actually get a chance to try the online lobby too much, but I'm fairly certain that it's the exact same as the Arms Test Punch. And what I played of that, the online lobby looks great. The user interface of it looks pretty amazing. So I think right off the bat there, I think the party match, I think that's what it's called, is really pretty cool. And then ranked matches. Now, I think this is a really cool mode. This is an interesting mode because of the balancing of it. So you can't actually unlock ranked matches until you've completed Grand Prix at level 4 or higher. And at Grand Prix level 4 or higher, the final boss that you fight has a second form called Headlock. If you played the Arms Grand Prix, then yeah, you'll know about that. And what Headlock is he locks on to your opponent's head. That's the pun. It's funny. And basically gives them 6 arms, which is insane. And it is extremely difficult. The first time I tried it on level 4, the easiest difficulty you could fight Headlock at, it took me 5 or 6 tries just to win a single round against him, which is nuts. And you have to beat this guy if you want to play other people in a very competitive mode. And I think that that's awesome. I think that makes the ranked matches a lot smoother, because in a game like Smash Brothers, let's say, I've commented before how I don't like the online in Smash Brothers itself, because there's no ranking system at all. Any 4-year-old can get on there and just be completely easy against a person who's played years and years. Whereas with this, there's a barrier to entry to the ranked matches, and then in addition to that, there's also an actual leveling up system. But because there's that barrier to entry, even if you're fighting a level 1 person, they're still gonna be pretty good if they've beaten Headlock before. So it's because of that barrier to entry, I think that the ARMS ranked matching system works very well, and I think I can appreciate that a lot. Now, finally, before I wrap up, I want to talk about the ability to the Get Arms minigame. So, this is one thing I'm not very impressed with about the game. If you don't know, the Get Arms minigame is a mode where whenever you're competing in various modes throughout the game, you'll get these coins, and in turn you can then turn around and use those coins to play this Get Arms minigame, where basically it's like Skill Shot, except occasionally at the end there will be these gift boxes that go across, and if you punch the gift box, you unlock a new arm for a specific character. Completely random new arm for a completely random character. And it's this aspect that I don't like very much. So, you have no control over what arm you get. If you want Mechanica to unlock the Coolerang, it's completely random. You might get it for her, you might not. If you want Helix to get the Whammer, completely random, once again. And here's the thing, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, you have to unlock each arm for each individual character. Like, you can't just unlock the Whammer, period. You have to, if you want the Whammer for everyone, you have to unlock the Whammer for Twintail, and unlock the Whammer for Ninjara, and for Springman. Each individual one. And normally this wouldn't be too bad, I don't think, if it was very, very inexpensive to play the Get Arms minigame. But here's the thing, it is quite expensive to get the Get Arms minigame. So at level 5, but after completing a level 5 Grand Prix, I got 60 coins. And level 5 Grand Prix, that takes about 25-30 minutes. So 60 coins, that's to play 2 short rounds of... That's enough to get you into 2 short rounds of the Get Arms minigame, which ultimately will get you maybe 1 or 2 gifts. Now, if you want to play a medium round, which lasts about 50 seconds, then you gotta dish over 100 coins. And again, after playing 30 minutes in Grand Prix, I got 60 coins. So you gotta play for 45 minutes or more if you want to get into the medium round. And then for the long one, you need 200 coins. So yeah, you gotta play for like 2 hours or so. The long round, by the way, is 90 seconds. And I personally think that's the only one that's worth it. And if you want to do that, you gotta play for at least 2 hours. All of this just to get a random shot at a random arm for a random character that you may not want, or at all. See, it's this mechanic that I think I like least about ARMS. I'd like to just be able to choose which one that I want for which character. I think the way that they should have fixed it is that it should be this way. Let's say that you, how about you unlock the arms at random instead? So you unlock the Coolerang in the Get Arms minigame. And then after the round, what if you could just choose which character gets to use that? I think that would make a lot more sense. But that's not what they let us do. So we're stuck with this completely random system. So as you can tell, I'm not a big fan of the unlock system in this game. But in the end, I mean, I don't think it really matters a ton, because they really did match up some pretty good arms with each character. The fitting arms that you need for each character, I think. And in addition, I also think that once you do get the arm you want for the right character, it feels incredibly rewarding. Yes, I will give them that. At the end of each Get Arms minigame, you do feel very, very rewarded for all that hard work you did even though it just gave you the arms you want to a bunch of random characters. Well, I've talked about the Arms Minigame, all the various modes, the core battle system. Oh, one more thing I want to bring up is that I really like the diversity of these characters. Like, I think that this actually excels a bit from Splatoon in that, like, each character is very unique in their own sense. It's almost like Smash Brothers in that way, and except with original characters. And I really like that. Like Springman, a completely different character from Helix. Bite and Bark is a completely different character from Master Mummy. And I really like that about this game, is that the abilities of of whatever you use are based on each character, unlike where Splatoon, it's based on each piece of gear that you get. And I really like that, I gotta say. So, well, let's see. I started this video to ask the question, is this what Splatoon was for the third-person shooter, except for fighters? And you know, I think it is. I think that it's about to the level of Splatoon. Splatoon never really excelled in the third-person shooter genre, I don't think, in like the competitive scene. It never really got super high, but it did gather a decent attraction. And I think that Arms is the same way, in that I don't think it's as compelling or fun to watch as Smash Brothers or Street Fighter, but I still think that there is a big audience that will really like this game and really get into the mechanics that can use it. So yeah, I do think it lives up to that expectation, and I do think it is actually a genuinely good game besides the flaws of the unlock system. So what do you guys think? Did you pick up Arms, and what are you thinking of it so far if you did? Did you not pick up Arms? Are you skeptical of it? You shouldn't be. It's an awesome game. I gotta say that. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think, and while you're there, if you could like and share and all that good stuff. And if you're new to the channel, I talk about everything Arms, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Switch, all that good stuff. And you can subscribe to my channel right up here, and you can check out my latest video up here. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.